2, 1, go.
What's going on, guys? MMA Island team. We got the fight picks. We got Joe Solecki taking on Austin Hubbard. We saw Austin Hubbard recently taking on Max Roshkop and got the TKO kind of, I guess you could say, controversial finish. It's not really it wasn't really a finish you could discredit him because It was a whole retirement thing. But
let's put it this way: Austin Hubbard, and I like the kid, the other kid. Austin Hubbard retired a 25-year-old debutante.
Yeah, it was a crazy ending is what I was trying to say there. It wasn't really controversial. It was huge credit to Austin Hubbard there. So before I keep rambling, I'll pass on to Zach here to start us off.
So it's really, really weird what the UFC has done with Austin Hubbard, as they seem to only match him up with grapplers. In his UFC tenure, he's fought Davi Ramos, ADCC champion, Crowd Prepelek, Marco Madsen, Olympian wrestler, and collegiate standout wrestler Max Roshkov. And this does not stop today. Joe Solecki's wrestling is the bread and butter to his game. But what all these wrestlers have really exposed from Austin Hubbard is that his takedown defense is not there. It is not good at all. But he does have a good get-up game. That is one thing to add to Austin Hubbard. His get-up game is very, very solid. But he gets taken down too much. And he was getting taken down a lot by Max Roshkov in that first round. And, it might have gone better for him if he did not gas out. But, you're taking that fight on such short notice.
Well, Roshkov looked decent.
Like, he looked good, but he gassed. And that was Joe Solecki's UFC debut against Matt Wiman. He put on possibly the most dominant performance I have ever seen. He just got on top of Matt Wiman and beat the hell out of him for 3 rounds. You could even say all 3 rounds, like the first round could be a 10-7. The other 2 rounds could be 10-8. He dominated. It's rare where you say 30-27 is too generous of a scorecard for someone. That is what Joe Solecki did to Matt Wiman. And that shows me one thing, that his top pressure is elite. And that's what he's shown throughout his entire career. Once he gets on top of you, he does not get off. He does not relent with these strikes. And that is, I think that he's just going to go for his chain wrestling game plan against Austin Hubbard. But I do think Austin Hubbard has the strength on the feet. And the one thing that Austin Hubbard has over everyone is that his cardio is very good. But that's what you get when you train an elevation fight team. You gain amazing cardio, but that's what Hubbard has. But yeah, I do think that if this fight stays on the feet, he's going to beat Solecki. But this fight's not going to stay on the feet. I think Solecki's going to take him down. He's going to grind him out for a decision. And I'm really high on Joe Solecki. I think his wrestling and top pressure is just absolutely elite.
Yeah, so I'll have to go with Austin Hubbard on this one. Talking about Joe Solecki, I really think, in a way, like, I know you can't really relate it just because Joe Solecki obviously has way more experience, but Roshkop and him, as you mentioned, they're both grapplers. They're both the guys who are going to take you down and submit you. In my eyes, I think Austin Hubbard had more of a striking advantage over has more of a striking advantage over Solecki than he did over Roshkop, and we saw how that fight ended for Roshkop. So, man, Austin Hubbard, he just looked really, really good in that fight against Roshkop. Roshkop is a guy who he's very, very good at getting takedowns. Watching his tape, there's a guy who can get you down, control you. And when I watched him with Hubbard, he's going for those roll takedowns, trying to go straight to the foot lock and like the ankle lock and get those submissions from there. And Hubbard really had an answer for it every time. And just started beating him up to the point where obviously we know what happened with Roshkop. But talking with Solecki, looking at a guy who's got 11 fights, 1 knockout win, 1 knockout loss, not really a good rate if you're talking to going up against Hubbard, who is a guy who's kind of been on fire. Talking about the matchups that we want him to get, like you mentioned, Marco Madsen, obviously Olympic level. You're gonna get taken down by Marco Madsen when you fight him. Davi Ramos, obviously very good in BJJ and all that. Getting those decision losses to them, I don't really value that too much, and I don't think Solecki's near those level of his opponents that he's lost to. So just looking at the guys who they have lost to and the guys who where they have looked vulnerable, I think Solecki's taken a huge step up here and fighting Hubbard here. I think Hubbard's going to be able to beat him. I think he's going to be able to strike with him the entire time. I think Hubbard's, as you mentioned, he doesn't really have the greatest of takedown defense, but he's got the get up game. I think when it does stay standing, and I think it will stay standing. That's where we disagree. I think it stays standing, and I think Hubbard's going to be able to piece him up kind of the same way that he did with Roshkop. And honestly, I think he's going to be able to survive on the ground the few times that it does get there. So I'm going to go with Hubbard. Passing into the calculator, it is very close, 58.8% chance for Hubbard to win this one. The thing is with Solecki, if Solecki's going to win this one, he needs to take it to the ground. Whereas in Hubbard can really do what he wants. Obviously, he doesn't want to take it to the ground with Solecki. Solecki very, very good on the ground, especially with the guillotines and the triangle chokes. But
BJJ black belt.
Exactly. So talking about Solecki, you don't want to take it to the ground there with him, but Hubbard's got the advantage on when the fight stays standing. And I think if he's able to get back up, defend the takedowns, and just where the fight starts, as so many people like to mention, is standing up. So I think Hubbard's going to be able to control it from there and kind of overwhelm him with the striking with such a huge jump up in competition. So I'll pass it on here.
You don't think he's going to take it to the ground?
Yeah, honestly, going off of Don Fry's nephew, Michael Fry's standpoint on it, I have to give Austin Hubbard the edge here. I got him by decision. I see that he's a well-rounded mixed martial artist. He made Max quit on the stool. He picked him apart on the feet. He broke him mentally and physically. That just shows what kind of martial artist he is. He's well-rounded in all aspects. He's got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And in his opponent, his opponent doesn't seem to display as much well-roundedness. He may show it in the cage, but he doesn't show it in finishes. Now, I'm not going off purely of that, but in having finishes, you show that that's how you win fights. That's how you capitalize. I mean, when you're choking somebody out, you might be going, oh my gosh, I'm choking him out. Or you might just be like, it's another day at the office. It depends on the mindset and whatever mindset works for you. But if you're more green, you need to keep your nerves in check. These guys have Austin Hubbard in 16 fights. It's a little bit of an edge, an experience in his opponent. So I would have to say that Hubbard probably just puts on another clinic as he did in Max. Maybe not keep it to the ground, keep it standing, as you guys are saying. And, maybe throwing some hooks, some uppers, wobble him on the feet, and maybe we see another TKO by retirement or just another decision for Hubbard.
So while I like Hubbard here, I do like Hubbard to finish the fight, but that's not my pick. My pick, I think Solecki gets a split decision over Hubbard. I think both of their cardios are going to match up. I think that Solecki is going to get him to the ground a lot. I think that Hubbard is going to get back up, but I think Solecki's going to do enough on the ground. I think there's going to be a few takedowns where he keeps it for a while, and I think on the judges' scorecards, it's just going to end up slightly edging Solecki. I think it's going to be a really good fight.
Wow, we got a guy who's looking into the future there, saying that he knows it's going to go to split decision. I love it. I absolutely love it, because there's been multiple fights where it's like we have that sort of mix of ground game and not really control, but damage on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't think either of them are going to be able to fully implement their game because of the other person's strengths.
Is it on the level of Esparza Rodriguez?
Nah, dude. Well, it could be. It could look like that, but I think if it looked like that, or I think if it went that way, I think Hubbard would actually look better than Rodriguez did there. I think that it would be flipped. I think that if someone was dominant, I think it's going to be Hubbard. Up
he's
by
more
a little
active
bit.
though on the ground than Esparza is. He's far more active on the ground than Esparza is.
I'm just saying.
Y'all hate on Esparza. I like Esparza for being able to maintain top position for the most part.
I don't.
Yeah, I think it could
He's
look
hot.
like that, but I think that if someone has a clear victory instead of it being close, it'll be Hubbard, because I don't see Solecki really doing anything except putting points in the bank. You know what I mean? That's what I see.
Yeah. So what is that? 2-2, or we got 3-1?
Yep.
We got the
We're down the middle, right?
Yeah.
No, Zach's got Solecki on this one. Wait, you're taking Solecki?
Yep.
So it's 2-2. We got to break the tie. So make sure you guys are letting us know what your pick is in the comments, and just overall showing the support on the Fight Pick videos, and checking out the other Fight Pick videos. We got all the fights for this entire card, so make sure you guys check them out. And if you agree with any of us, maybe you can make some money and bet on the fights. So like I said, make sure you guys show your support and check out the other Fight Pick videos.